idea.
We were saying
That's what the record. I mean, those record companies need that though, because there aren't enough people. Record companies over the years shot themselves in the foot so many times by trying to be immediate with pop music and pop bands and the kind of music that they have been putting forward and forcing people to listen to for so many years, that they need bands like the Beatles and the Led Zeppelin and the Stones and the Who, because they're the ones that sell records. They still sell more records than most of these other bands that supposedly sell lots of records.
Yeah. Did you know that
rock music sells? It's a fact, and record companies over the years have been trying to kind of wipe it out. Really, it seems to me.
Do you think there's some kind of irony in the case that J.Lo, last album was called Brave?
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I don't know. Who knows? She probably doesn't even know we exist.
Yeah.
Because she lives in a very, very different world to us.
You have, I don't know, you don't.
She's
really,
great though, isn't she? I mean, I think she's
as a woman or as a singer.
Well, as a woman, I mean, she's hugely successful. She's talented. She's got to be talented, hasn't she? Really?
Yeah, but that's interesting because you have actually, and I talked to H about this thing. Was that you've written quite a lot of stuff about the glamour of being a pop star and its dark side, with 3 Minute Boy, The Whole of Afraid of Starlight, Number One.
There's lots of it.
Yeah.
There's lots of it actually all around. Yeah, King, another one.
King.
And Real Tears for Sale is really about that kind of thing. Well, there's a lot of misery.
Isn't there some kind of
Fran,
weird...
perdona, 5 minutos de cámara,
Vale.
Huh?
de cinta.
Right now.
You're running out of time.
Do you think there's some kind of weird fascination from the band with that kind of meta, the dark side of fame?
Well, I just think it's an honesty that people tend to forget, or fame is over glamorized, and people are put on pedestals. People are put in such high places now, and the tabloids love to pop at them. If all you've only got to step out of your house in the wrong clothes one morning to go and get milk so your kids can have their cornflakes, and the press are hounding you, it messes with people, and the whole fame thing and the power thing messes with people's minds as well. Because unless you're ready for it, and unless you really understand what it is that you've got and where you are with your life, it's going to imbalance you.
It's going to show its
because most people have, to be up there and to be doing that kind of thing, there's got to, there are definitely insecurities amongst people who perform, and they're brought out, and the worst side of people can be brought out so easily. And the press seem to love it as well, and it's horrible.
Well, they can have a face value.
Yeah, I guess.
They were going to tell me which shape is taking the new album.
It's louder. It is loud. It's fantastic. Well, one of the things we've done with this album is we've extended it and we've made it more.
A double.
We made it a double album effectively. We don't really call it that because we don't want to call it that for some reason. But it's got lots of music on it in a similar way to Marvel's, and I like that approach because it allows you to experiment a little bit more with the songs that you've got around you, and not just to say, well, that's the kind of music that that can fit on this album, and that's the kind of music, that's the kind of song that isn't ready for this kind of album, rather than having to make choices of those kind of types of what you're going to have on the album, what you're not going to have on the album. You can have everything. So you can have, the rockiest thing you want. You can have the most delicate little ballad, little piano thing, if you want. You can encompass everything. And that's pretty much what this album does. Actually, it's got lots of facets to it, which always I like, and I like being able to work on any given moment, work on any type of music. I'd not have to say, you know, not have people.
That doesn't fit here. Or
No, that doesn't fit. What are we going to do with that? You know, it's all very well having a song like that, but what are we going to do with it? And one of the things that I loved about Marbles was that, you know, songs like Drilling Holes and The Damage were allowed to you know, to sort of grow into songs, because they'd have just been left on a pile of bits and pieces that we didn't know what to do with otherwise.
That's a bit of the Bit of White Album approach in a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
that
you can
kind
throw
of
everything and
yeah. So it's not, you know, it's not a double album in a concept kind of vein, but just as a way of being able to put more of your different styles together.
That's interesting because age.
So it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of rockier stuff, and there's some quieter stuff, and there might even be an instrumental. Actually, there's a thing that we've got which is just amazing, and it goes through loads and loads of. And it was a jam. It was a jam that Mike Hunter kind of dug out and said, "Guys, you should really listen to this because this has got some great bits," and it looks like it might be an instrumental thing, which we've never done before, you know. So we've had musical passages in amongst everything, but to have an instrumental is so, you know, it's going to be a good album. It's going to be a great album. Actually.
Yeah.
It's not a good album.
It's interesting that you mentioned the concept album thing, because I remember H saying that he had denied in every single interview that Marbles was a concept album, but once he got on stage and performed it, he said it's actually taken the shape of a concept album.
Yeah, it sort of did. I mean, it was never. None of the songs were written with an order or with an idea of that in mind. But it just seemed to happen that there was a collective thought process behind it, I guess. And then the way we put the songs together. He likes drums.